Hello, Odd Job Doer here. And do you have a shower stall, shower whatever? Do you have a shower curtain hanging down? Well, chances are you might have something like this right here. This is the end of a shower curtain rod, tension shower curtain rod. And how this normally goes is, one side gets pressed up against the wall over here, right? Not here, but up here somewhere. And the other side, it gets on the other wall. And then there's usually a thing in the middle here where you can usually unscrew the two sides to separate them and push against the wall and create pressure. And of course, hopefully hold your curtain. Also, some of them are springy. This one here doesn't seem to be springy anymore. And I hate these things. They're lousy. So, today's little video is hopefully going to be how to install not only a mounted curtain rod, but we have this right here, curved one, right? It's curved, and it's a dual. I think this is a newer thing coming out, but they start making dual ones, which they say you could use the outer one as a towel rack. I don't know about that, but what I do know is your inner one can be for the curtain, the plastic liner, and your outer one can be like for a fancy curtain. So, it kind of covers up, gives you your privacy, and it just hides your dirty bathtub when people are around, or dirty shower. Now, this particular one, like I said, it has a curve to it, and it mounts with brackets that go here. And part of the bracket, this right here, metal, although, pot metal, probably die cast, and two screws. And what we're going to be trying to do with this is find a stud up in that area. But to get better at that, we're going to do some measuring. And this one here actually has two sides to it, so it's adjustable. This is one side. I guess the way you can figure it out is on the bottom here, there's some screws. Those you should have more than likely hanging down, or I guess you could have them up. Your shower curtain will get hung on them usually more if they're up, and hanging down will keep any kind of water and stuff dripping down. And then the other side looks like this, pretty much the same thing, only slightly skinnier rods. So to put this together, make sure you have both sets of screws facing the same way, and it's pretty simple. You just take the ends here, and put them together literally. Slide in here, there's a grommet there. This can go pretty wide. Alright, so something like that there. And I'm going to slip it in more, adjust them back and forth. Give a little twist maybe. Right, so we get down to something more manageable. Now then, up to the wall here. Also the purpose of this curve, maybe I mentioned, is that it brings the top of the curtain out a little bit, so it gives you more shoulder room up there. To look for stuff on the wall here, first we're going to measure. Now, let's talk curtain sizes. I didn't really notice until just recently, but supposedly there is, some people say three curtain sizes. One is 70 inches by 70 inches. Two is, I believe this is 70 inches wide by 72 inches high. And then a third one is 72 by 72, wide and high. And that, I believe, is 6 foot by 6. And they say that's the most popular size. Now, there are some that are 70 wide by 84 high. And then if you have a single shower stall, you might have a 54 wide by 78 high. And I even seen one saying that was 72 by 144 wide. That's a huge curtain. So we're not going to worry about that. We're going to shoot for the 72 by 72. They're saying that's the most common size. And to get things started here, we got tape measure. And so I'm going to measure from up top here and let it droop down. And I'll start with around 72 inches, which is 6 foot. I'll do it inside the bathtub. And let's see here. So if we put it right there, you know, it's down that far. I don't know if you can see it down there, but it's almost to the bottom of the basin. We don't want that. We want probably a couple inches up from the bottom of the basin. And I'll say here per se. And so then coming back up top, you can see 72 is actually right above that there faucet coming out, shower head. Now then, right then, what we want to do is not hang it at the 72. We're actually probably hang it at maybe the 74. If you already have your hangers that go with the curtain, you want to measure them, but I think those might be around 1 3/4 to 2.5 inches high. And so we're going to go up a little bit above the shower head and do a 74. So right about where my finger's at here is where we want to hang, right up there. So we're going to try to hang the bracket at. And so I'll find a pencil and mark that. Alright, so it's hard to see there, but there's a dot on the wall there. A single dot after measuring bottom up from down to the top up here. We got a dot right there. And now where I'm going to put this bracket is I'm actually going to put the back bottom corner of it right on that dot. See there? And then I will, I'll hold this with one hand. I'll mark the 2 drill holes right here and right here for it. But I'll also measure now from this dot up to the ceiling and back to the back wall. And then on the opposite, I will measure down from the ceiling and back from the back wall and get a dot on this side here, which should be right across from the dot over here. Okay, so then I'll same thing, I'll mark it and get ready to drill. But before I drill, I will check the wall with a stud detector and make sure there's no studs there, which is sad because studs would be nice. There's one here. So right there is not going to help us because it's actually a few inches out of the shower pan down below. Get out of there. So we can't mount it there. And you know what? I hate to do this, but this does come with some actually pretty beefy looking things like so. I might use these, or there's even a better idea to use, which I might look for something in the better idea category. So let me get to marking both sides here, and I'll mark the drill holes there. Alright, so I just got done marking the holes on both sides, so take that down, and what we'll be using is not those plugs that came with it, but we got something a little bit iffy about, but we got this here. It's a toggle bolt, and these here I think will last longer and work better than the anchors, the wall anchors. And I don't know, I don't like wall anchors for this. Toggle bolts I think I like a little better, but what I really like is a stud to drill in. So I don't know if you've seen these at hotels or other people's houses, but eventually they start to kind of get sad and saggy. Well, that's because this here's not tight enough, not strong enough. Toggle bolts should keep it a little bit stronger than the wall anchors. So if I can get on point here, I'll drill some holes that are the right size for the toggle bolts I'm using. Right, hollow wall, nothing in there. And yes, I hate doing this. And then you paint something, you make it nice, and then you drill holes through and make it not nice. I hate that. Anyway, so I got that, and then maybe get some of that there taken care of, make it a little more prettier. Okay, then simply take your fixture like this, with the holes in it, feed your bolt, for the toggle bolt through. And then at the end of it, put on your toggle. If you never used a toggle bolt before, this is the way you do it. Put it on, and so make sure it's not binding. Get at least the tip in, like this. And you want these little springy arms to be going towards the shaft of the bolt, or whatever the fixture you have there. And so I will put on both bolts here at the same time. And then we will just simply feed it through, well, really simply. And these are rated for 70 pounds. This curtain rod is definitely not that heavy. Wet towels on it and could get that high, but this should be good because these are, I believe they're 70 pounds each. Alright, so we have them like so, and I like to kind of figure out how to place them. So I'm going to place it like this. So when it springs out, it's going to go to the sides of it. But you take your toggle bolt, you fold it down like this, and you shove it through the hole, hopefully. And now, they usually sell a package what size. I'm actually going a little bit smaller, that's why it's a little bit tight to put it in here. But once you get past the brackets on it, you usually don't have much of a problem. But what I didn't want was, as big as the holes they wanted me to have. Let's see, it should go a little up and down there. And like so. Make this a little bit smoother. Pop them in theory. Sometimes you can tap with the hammer, but I'm not going to worry about that at this point because you really don't want to mess up your spring-loaded systems. All right. Kind of work it in there. Okay, and once it's past the drywall, the little fins will spread out and hold it in place better. Well, hold in place. Okay. Hopefully that's it for that one. Spin it around here. Yeah, that's probably much better now. Alright, so it's in there, sprung out, and see it's already not going to come out. I got both sides toggled out. Now then, you could use an electric one for this, but I'm going to do it by hand, so I want to make sure I get the position right. And just start threading those bolts in. Be very careful you don't do it the wrong way, because you don't want the bolts, the toggle part, disappearing in the wall. Basically, if this ever gets changed out, say goodbye to the toggle part. You just have a bolt afterwards. The reason why I don't like to use electric ones on this, especially on your smaller toggle bolts, is I don't want it to, strip them out or break them too easy to break stuff, over tightening and whatnot. And I usually alternate, by pulling that toggle tight against the wall, which is on the inside of the wall. have any questions or comments, make sure you leave them down below. I'm not done yet, as you can see. But now that I'm getting closer to the wall, I want to make sure I'm back on my corner point in the bottom left-hand side. Right there. Okay, and make sure it's plumbed up and down. And then, like I said, you snug these down kind of tight against the back wall, you know. You don't want to over tighten by far. Because, like I said, you can actually tighten it too tight and it breaks that toggle. Okay. Got that pretty tight, and bottom one. Great. Now, I'll drill and mount the other side. Okay, now I'll put on the same way. The bracket here that will actually go to the wall. You have this part here, metalish, circle. Screw holes in the bottom here, they'll go up in the bracket. Another little set screw down here. And then what this does is it goes on the end of your curtain rod. And so you have this hole here. So when you slip this on, that hole goes concentric with these other holes here. You can almost look through there straight, or should be. And then you have this set screw here. And so I will go ahead and set that with a little tool I have, I think it's 1/8 of an inch Allen wrench. Comes in a packet of goodies. So we'll tighten that down just ever so snugly at this point. We don't want to tighten it too tight. Just set down so it doesn't really move. It doesn't fall off either. Then I'll do the other side of this curtain rod, and then we'll be ready to hang it. Another important note I'll add, let's see these here, you can see them, one of them is smaller than the other. So, when you hang it, make sure you have the small one on the small rod and the big one on the bigger end. Likewise, you have these screws here that hang down. I would say match up your set screw, whatever side you have those screws hanging down on. There, so this is a little bit tighter now because this is the smaller one on the smaller side. Right? Same thing. Make those holes concentric through here and then snug this one back down. Alright, now back to the other side. Okay, here we have the bracket up here and we have this part here. And so what this will do is it will feed into the bracket like so. You see, now this is made so it can, rock back and forth. But now that we got it in there, we have a little, actually kind of a beefy old screw here. That one goes down from the top, and that one goes down, or up from the bottom. So I'll find the mark and kind of feed in by hand a little bit. And then same with the bottom here. Make sure I find the right hole and thread it in without cross-threading it. Alright, now then, basically same thing. I will move it to the other side. Over here you see, you can see it doesn't quite make to the wall, but that's okay because this is adjustable. So I can just slide it on out and move it in. Now then, I will do the same thing. I'll drop the screws down up, and then we'll get back to tightening. Alright, the final adjustments you want to do is make sure you got the top screw of the bracket up here tightened, which I already did. Finagle this here bottom bracket screw. Snug it down fairly nice. You got two screws here, which I think are on kind of loose. Yeah, just make sure they're snug. And then you got your little specialty screw back, your little set screw. And use your little special Allen wrench that came with it. And tighten that down. That really brings the jiggle factor down a lot. There, now this is all tight, ready to go. And I'll just basically do the other side the same way. And which we'll have there is a double curtain rod hung up. Alright, just need to get some loops, hooks, however fast as you use it. And you can hang a curtain. So, any questions or comments? Like I said before, I'll leave them down below. Odd Job Viewer, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for other stuff I might do. Have a good day.